We are back with the second heat of the teams at the 2023 Rebel Renegade Games. This is our top seeding teams heat, and a couple of these teams are eager to take home every event this weekend. I think it's going to be very interesting. Stretch, who's your money on?
So I'm gonna read out all. Let's go lanes 1 to 9, then we come back and see where our money is. So firstly, we've got CrossFit 111 Relentless. That's another team out of Egypt. Then we've got Juggernaut Conquer, obviously out of Cape Town. Juggernaut Unstoppable. So first off the bat, 2 teams in the top ranked out of the same facility. So that's going to be an interesting one to see. CrossFit Tiger Valley Synergy. Fantastic bunch of athletes as well. Then you've got CrossFit FBD Mayhem Africa. Again, another really cracker team. Cape CrossFit Wolfpack. I mean, I think on everybody's lips, they're almost, dare I say, the favorites for the weekend. You know, everyone's kind of look at them. They've got the biggest target on their back. Then you've got the 10-star hybrids. CrossFit Zulu out of KZN, actually on the north coast, Belito. And then you've got Cape CrossFit Werewolves. So looks like 2 Cape CrossFit teams there, being the Wolfpack and the Werewolves. You got 2 Juggernauts in there as well. So you know what? I'm telling you now, I think you're going to throw a blanket over lanes 4, 5, and 6, and I think that is where it's going to come from. But every team in this final, I mean, these are your top-ranked teams, so they've all got an opportunity.
So there's been a lot of talk going around here between that CrossFit FBDV Mayhem Africa team. A bunch of veterans coming back in, actually. These guys are much older. Michelle Moran, obviously leading this team. She qualified for the CrossFit Games last year as an individual. And then, looking at the rest of the athletes, we've got Angie Conaway, also an individual athlete from last year. Alan Fowlis, a top-ranked age group semi-finals, or quarterfinals and semi-finals athlete from this year. And an old-time individual athlete. And then AJ Fisser, also 37 years old, been in the game for a long time. He finished 3rd in the 2021 semifinals. So this is really a team with a lot of experience coming back. And they are, kind of going head to head with the Cape CrossFit Wolfpack, a much younger team who've been putting all of their time and effort into development. So we've got experience versus young.
Youth, I guess. I think that's true. I mean, you've got the Finkles out there, and if anybody's watched them on social media, you saw they've pretty much got a full at-home facility as well as being. I know I got to watch them in hard lockdown, obviously 2 years ago. 3 years ago. They had a full basic training facility at home, so they've put the time in. Like you said, for the last 2 years, that team has been together. Callum Diebel, an impressive athlete in his own right there. Also a youngster. I think he's also sub-25. And then you've got Mike Van Tonda, a bit of the old goat, excuse me, in terms of the team, but by no means in terms of athletic ability. He is an absolute beast.
So we are away with our second team's heat, taken to the floor.
So I think this is going to be the big joint, is how many of these teams have actually managed to compete together in-person competitions, and how many of them have just done sort of your online in-box competitions that are used to training together but without that other aspect. When you're in your own box, it's your music, your time, your people cheering for you. Now you're out here, and it's early morning, it's in Johannesburg, it's still a full work day for most people out there, so I don't expect to see an absolute ton of spectators in this morning. So you're almost out there in the quietness of the arena. There's no cheering and screaming. But you and your team have to block that out regardless and just give it horns. You see here Alan Fowlis. I think he's going to go unbroken.
And you can already see, holding the sandbags, the difference between the first heat and the second heat. The guys in the second heat look calm. There's AJ Fisser at the top of your screen, just hanging on there. Looks like he's falling asleep with the bag.
Yeah, quick reset there, just a little bit of discussion. I think Alan may have glitched a little, but there you go, straight back up. There you go, holding in. Remember, your athlete on the double unders can only do their double unders as long as that bag is up. So there you go. There's Michelle Moran. She actually went to the games last year. So, like you said earlier, an absolute wealth of experience and talent as far as a full team goes.
Michelle looking very calm on that assault bike.
On the right-hand side of your screen, you've got Emma over there. She's also out of KZN, but pretty much moved up to Johannesburg to be with her teammates in order to make sure everything works. Mike Fontonda, like you said there, locked in, dialed in on the left-hand side of your screen, just looking at his partner do his dubs. And like I said, Alan Fallis now changed across. He's on the sandbag. You can see a little bit of pain cap. Obviously, the lungs hurting, but coming off those dubs does make a difference.
On your screen now, Angie Conaway. Also last year, an individuals semi-final athlete and getting pulled into this team, the Unboxed Mayhem Africa team. Moving on to your Cape CrossFit team on your screen now. This is Brady Finkel.
To be honest with you, the first time I saw them all on screen, I actually thought they were triplets. They are so similar in terms of height, ability, strength. So, I mean, any one of these three girls could jump into and be part of this team. So, I mean, just that again, you've got three sisters fighting for two positions in their team, let alone anything else. So it's going to be fascinating what this team can do. Mark Fontonda there holding the sandbag. He is dialed into what he needs to do. Yeah, it looks like the judge there, Natalie Meeker, giving Callum Diebel the fact that he's got 110. So he's only got to get through 40 more dubs before they can move on to. So who is going to be the first team to move on to their sandbag cleans? Worm cleans, goodness me.
Callum Diebel now doing his double unders. Also, one of the only athletes kind of on the field that has CrossFit Games experience. He went to the games in 2021 with the CrossFit Akestad team, qualifying out of fittest in Cape Town.
There you go, 1, 2 teams. That's Juggernaut up against. Can't actually see that far, to be honest with you. My apologies. But I really need to get better glasses. But there you are, Juggernaut coming out the gate.
Hybrids.
There you go, 10-star hybrids up against the Juggernauts. And again, this is probably, I'm going to go say maybe one of the more underrated teams. You know, we've spoken about the Wolfpack, we've spoken about Cape CrossFit. I know that's the, you know, so they are underrated and overrated teams. There are no overrated, I mean favorites. Let's call them favorites.
This Juggernaut team closest on your screen here, led by Justin Swart. Justin been out for about 2 years now with a back injury, and then coming back this year in the Open, finishing 6th overall. A natural athlete at heart, unbelievable. Vicky Polidoro right at the back of that worm. Also an incredible individual athlete, taking a couple of years off and now coming back to competition. So some great experience in that CrossFit Juggernaut team as well.
You look at there, the Wolfpack, Cape CrossFit on your left-hand side of your screen. They are making some big moves now on this worm. But it's Alan Fowlis and his team there just making it through. That's with AJ Fisser, of course, Angie Colloway, and Michelle Moran. So they're, like we said, absolute stellar team, but no love lost in this.
CrossFit 10-star at the back over there, ready on to their second round. So they are currently leading this heat.
There is going to be an absolute bun fight all weekend. Excuse me, for again, that one position. So you have 10, you've got 19 teams fighting for one. I think it's going to come down to who wants it more.
CrossFit 111 Relentless in the top of your screen at the moment. And accompanied by the second CrossFit Juggernaut team.
Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams moving on to their second round. It's going to get spicy. Remember, this is only round 1. You've got to go through all 4 rounds here. So it is going to be interesting that those team dynamics, height, all the variables that you can otherwise control are going to change. Like you said, Juggernaut coming off the individual and teamwork first, then coming off the bag 5th on those cleans. There's Wolfpack.
Yeah, I think event 1 of the weekend, so much excitement, so much just fire, ready to go. I think it's also very important not to blow yourself out as an individual or the rest of your team. It's very hard not to get flustered standing there on that start mat and then just blacking out at that 3, 2, 1 go.
And especially depends on what you chose for the first set. You know, therein lies the big difference. If you're going to, like you said, go blackout straight off the bat, have you got enough to hold on for the remaining 28 minutes? You know, whatever's left in the clock. So there's a very strategic, as one of the Finkel girls check. She's gone for a 2-finger hold, having a bit of a breather. These sandbags are heavy, but I think this team actually came up I think like 2 weeks ago. They've been up in Joburg already for a while now to acclimatize and get used to everything.
Yeah, this has been one of these teams that have really taken the altitude to heart. They did move up 2 weeks ago, and all of them coaches at their CrossFit affiliates. So,
yeah, sure. So your affiliate is 4 coaches down, but teams make sure. I mean, you would have done the same thing. You would have made preparations if your team's that good, and they're going to go through the semifinals with a chance of actually punching their ticket to games. You're going to make sure that, as an affiliate owner like yourself, you're going to be ready to take on that, to know what's going to happen. You see the different techniques there and the athletes in their dubs. Callum Deeble keeping his feet very, very together. That's Natalie. Look at her feet splay out slightly. It's, again, just personal, individual preference. But those sandbags are starting to look hell on some of those athletes, just deep in the pain cave.
Yeah, they are definitely not looking as comfortable into the second round than they did in that first round of the sandbags when they were still fresh. But as we saw in the previous heat, the sandbag is definitely where this workout is going to make or break you.
Oh no, 100%. Like some of the smaller athletes, the female athletes, and the male athletes, like that bag is heavy. It's like I said, it's generates your body weight. And some of the athletes that I thought would be a lot stronger, Trent here on the screen, absolute demon of an athlete, but he looks like he's really hurting on the sandbag, something I wasn't expecting to see.
On your screen now, this is the CrossFit 10-star team, 10-star hybrids, and they are currently leading the pack.
I mean, like I said, leading the pack, and there we go. Some of the other teams cruising through there. I've just drawn a blank as to this athlete, and I know her very well. It's very frustrating. It's Janine Perinel. Perinel. I just call it Janine, really. But like I said, like the team's doing well. You look across the board, you're not just looking at the person doing the double under or the sandbag. Remember, it's 4 athletes working at a time. Callum Deeble there in the blue shorts, AJ Pfister next to him. Both of them going with that slightly lean back sort of positioning there. 10-star Trent at the top of your screen as well. You can see he's got that bear hug. These athletes, male athletes, have got these bags. They're hanging on for everything they can, because as long as you can hang on there, your athlete can keep it going with her dubs. That's Zulu at the top of your screen there. Alan Fowlis looks like he's giving his legs giving his arms a bit of a breather, just ticking through the hands. He said, there you go. He knows he gets a little bit of chance to rest. This is the Tiger Valley team. I think most of these athletes actually returning for a second year, had a stellar performance last year. Unfortunately, didn't get to go to the games, but you know what? They're back this year. They're going to punch their ticket, and let's see. Hopefully, we see them more. Actually, you know what? I'm not picking a favorite. I've decided it's too hard. I'm not choosing a favorite.
We can see now that CrossFit Tiger Valley has overtaken the 10-star hybrids. But yeah, as you said, CrossFit Tiger Valley last year smoked the Fittest in Cape Town semi-final, and unfortunately just couldn't make it through to the games due to a PED test.
But that's it. Yeah, the thing is sports fair. They're going to test. They're going to make sure, and as we've seen HQ, CrossFit HQ, bomb athletes, because that's it. They want to keep the sport as pure as they can do, and that's it. I applaud them for actually making it visible, those athletes that were banned. I know myself, coming from other sports, sometimes an athlete just mysteriously takes a 3-year gap, and you're not unconfused why. Whereas sport like CrossFit and obviously HQ, they are blunt. They will put it out there exactly who it is. They, name and shame, for want of a better word. And you know what? It's good, because it forces athletes and the sport to take itself seriously, and the athletes to make sure that they are the best of their abilities in the most natural state possible. I think we're going to see at least 3 teams make it through under this time cap. They're coming through, like we said, roughly 7 minutes a round, and that means that 14 minutes to be halfway through. And there you go. The first team already made it, the Mayhem team, at 11 minutes 17 seconds. They finished their second round.
Unbox getting to the Worm third, and then just coming out of nowhere, really. Moving into their third round at just over 11 minutes.
Juggernauts have fallen back a bit. I think they may have fallen victim, like you said, coming out the gates a little bit too hot. Here you got Michelle Moran and Angie Colloway. Them on their team, they're on to their third round, so they still look good. I mean, there's no, love lost in terms of what's going on there. Nope, see, there's the problem. When you're not communicating properly, you drop the bag down, and it takes vital seconds. Look at it, they've lost one. If Wolfpack get through the second rep, then we can't CrossFit. That means they've lost 2 reps here, the team on your left-hand side, compared to the team on your right. Looks like there you go. They lose 3 reps, which is vital just in terms of their communication as to how you drop the bag. Or it looks like they had the time because now both teams coming off at the same time.
And on your screen now, that's Michelle Morand, our South African semi-finals or games athlete from last year. She won the semi-finals in the individual field. Really opening up the individual field for the women this year.
It's going to be a very, very interesting. That being said, we've got 2 international South Africans. I'm going to call them that for now. Yeah. I don't want to get murdered or attacked. But we've got a few of our female athletes and even Keelan Henry, out of France, although born and bred South African, now lives in France. But so I'm going to call them international South Africans for this weekend and see how they go. Here's Zulu, that's out of Belito, or Salt Rock, actually, if you want to be absolutely specific. Bruno Collier, he's the head coach there. Look, just having a bit of a breather on his knees. The girls actually look surprisingly a lot more fresh than the guys do right now. Yeah, Bruno Collier himself, no stranger, actually an ex sort of Joburg athlete, moved down to the coast, took his family down there, and now heading up the crew from Zulu. Also, very good individual athlete in his day, and by no means any disrespect to Bruno. He's an absolute beast. But you can see now, moved to teams. I don't think he's actually competed individuals since moving down to Durban.
And just towards the top of your screen just now, you could see the Cape CrossFit Werewolves also carrying the 3rd Finkel sister. So as Stretch was saying just now, all 3 of these sisters in a very similar kind of age gap, what they are aged between 18 and 22, all repping semi-finals in the top heat of the teams division. Quite unbelievable. Exciting to see where they come up in the future. And I know that they all did qualify for individual semi-finals as well.
Exactly. So there you go. So the future looks good in terms of the Finkel sisters. And it's just, are they going to stay teams or will they eventually transition over to individuals? If you've got, I don't know about you, I don't have any siblings, but I imagine if I'm able to train with my sisters or brothers and sisters, your value in terms of an athletic performance is just going to skyrocket because there's 3 of you all pushing each other every single day.
In the lane closest to you now, in lane number 2, that's the second Juggernaut team in the top heat, Juggernaut Conquer, and alongside them, the CrossFit 111 Relentless from Egypt.
There we go, 111. Yep, they get that rep. The one athlete managed to get his head on the wrong side of the bag, just not quick enough. But right after them, like I said, these again might be the last 2 teams. They're just, let's call it, a minute and a half out of the 14 minutes, 7 minutes around sort of aspect if they're hoping to finish, but still looking good. I don't know how many teams in the first heat managed to get this far in 14 minutes. So, you know what? Like I said, these are your top 10 ranked teams, and still everything to fight for if you want to stay in this heat.
Seems like our 2 girls from the Cape CrossFit team are done, just waiting for Mike Fontana to finish up on the Assault Runner. Oh no, just taking a bit of a chalk break.
Yeah, it's one of the Finkel girls again, going for a different sort of hold. You can see that seam work running top to bottom in front of her, changing the way she holds that bag. Obviously she wants it, but maybe she found that this is a better grip. There's less sand moving, shifting around top to bottom, a lot more sturdy sort of hold. So, regardless, her legs are locked out, but the movement stance is being met, so you can only be happy But right now in front, looks like that's your FBDV team.
Yep, that is our Mayhem Africa team, and they are leading the pack. Got at least 4 worm clean and jerks ahead of the next team. Still not featuring on the floor for their third set.
Looks like Tiger Valley are now joining them on the worm cleans. So again, no really big gaps, 4, 5, let's call it 6 reps to be safe. But now they're going to be, how are they going to be able to eat into that or be able to jump forward? Like, I mean, I must be honest, I thought that the Wolfpack was going to dominate this workout. Looks like they're a little bit unstuck on those sandbags, but you know what? Doesn't matter. There are still 5 workouts after this to fight for. So you may have a bit of a stumble now, but that doesn't mean anything. And again, under the time cap, as we said, if you're looking at 7 minutes around, 17 and a half minutes, and they're done. They're moving into their fourth round.
CrossFit Unboxed moving into their 4th and final round, so this will be their last transition. As it stands, it seems like we might just have a team finish inside that 28-minute time cap.
I think we might get 2 teams because, I mean, both these guys looking good. And then at the top of your screen as well, guys coming through. That's your third Finkel sister. That's another Cape team. Oh, head's all on the wrong side. Judge making sure.
There you go, bit of miscommunication there.
And again, it's a very diverse team, to be honest with you. That's, I think it's Monique at the back. So that's the wife to...
Yeah, Mike Van Tonder's
Mike
partner.
Van Tonder's wife, yeah. Then you've got, I think it's Edwin from, originally from PE. Then one of the Finkel girls. And then your guy in front there whose name, I'm having the worst luck today with names. But actually originally from CrossFit Zulu. Decided to move down to Cape Town and... looks like the move is doing him well. Alan Fowler's deep in the pain cave there. You can just see that look on his face. But again, shallow breathing. He's doing what he can. He gets to have a bit of a breather with whatever's doing the dubs. But he knows he's got to pick it up again. It's not over until it's over. These are your leading team now. That's Tiger Valley still in the chase, but I'm going to go ahead and say it looks like they've got themselves a comfortable lead there, does FBDV. It's all to fight for third place because it looks like 1 and 2 look pretty much locked in as Tiger Valley move through. They're now going to go into their 4th round with 19 minutes, 7 seconds on the clock.
And this is CrossFit 10-star hybrids on your screen now. Just trying to finish off this 3rd set to move on to their worm cleaner jerks. The 10-star hybrids came out the gates hot, leading the first set of 10 clean and jerks, and are just slowly falling behind the 2 leading teams.
There you go, with Zulu on the left of them, ladies on the sandbag and the dubs. So like I said, they're moving through. Looks like their men have finished, Bruno and waiting in the background, just having a breather.
And Cape CrossFit Wolfpack are now moving on to their worm as well. So just in striking distance of the 10-star hybrids, I think they must be around 3 clean and jerks behind.
So there you have, those are your top 4 teams. Obviously out in front is your FBVD. Second there is your team from the 10-star hybrids, I believe. Looks like 3rd and 4th with maybe 1-2 reps in it is the Cape CrossFit. And...
well, that's the 10-star hybrids over here.
10-star hybrids, sorry.
Tiger Valley.
Tiger Valley, that's what. I got to stop getting these 2 teams confused. So there you have it. FBDV from Tiger Valley, then 10-star and Cape CrossFit. Those are your top 4 teams.
That 10-star team as well, bringing 2 men into the pack for this year and going team. Devin Ramsden and Trent Williams. Last year at the semi-final in individual, Devin Ramsden finished 8th, Trent Williams 11th. So 2 very strong men in this team.
Devin Ramsden himself is a big athlete in terms of height. Like, I mean, I'm 6'5", and to look at that aspect, when I go onto that pull-up bar, it kind of meets me halfway down my forearm. So it's going to be interesting to see how Devin manages if he's got forced to get onto the bar this weekend, because he himself is a large, tall athlete, as is sort of Natalie there in that team as well, as Natalie van Heerden. Again, two of the taller athletes in sort of the entire field here. If you look, even you can see it on your screen compared to the other athletes on the field. Zulu on your screen now again. That's Key Alcock's second on the worm there. Very new in terms of the world of CrossFit, but again, taking the word under the wing of Bruno Kallia and absolutely dominating at the moment.
Your CrossFit Juggernaut team just finishing off their third round now of the workout, heading back for their final round. Just under 8 minutes left, so if we are able to stick underneath that 7-minute cap per round, we could even see our top 5 teams finish here.
Yeah, I actually think you're 100% correct there. It looks like it's going to be an interesting fight here. FBVD, Michelle Moran on your screen now again. That she's going for deep breaths. She's having to hang in there. So that Alan Fowlis on the double under can get through his dubs as quick as he can.
As you can see, just by the look on all of these athletes' face now, the sandbag hold is just a mental battle. If you can get through that, you can allow your athlete on the double unders to get as many reps in as possible, the less amount of time you need to be on there. You can see Justin Swart at the back of your screen hanging on there too. This is going to be a taxing one on him as well, obviously coming out of quite a big back injury from the CrossFit Open 2 years ago. On your screen there, that's Devin Ramsden, who we were just chatting about now. One of the taller athletes in the field. Trent Williams just behind him on the assault runner.
Oh, you just saw there the judge telling him to lock out his legs a bit more. Judge making sure he wants that vertical positioning. I mean, we can see on screen those legs look slightly bent, but you know what? I'm not the judge and I'm on the floor. But hey, judge's call is final always. There's a 1-1-1 on your screen now. The lady's just having a chat before she knows she has to pick that bag up. Tightens up the weight belt, and here we go. 24 minutes on the clock. 4 minutes remaining, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see, like I said, I think we're looking good to get our first 4 teams through, definitely, possibly even a 5th. Tiger Valley look like they have stormed through in their last round to actually take the lead, and they were a good 6-7 reps behind in this worm. They are going to be our new leaders, but here comes the FBDV.
This is going to come down to the wire over here. We've got the FBDV team just picking up their first clean and jerk, 1 rep behind Tiger Valley. But then again, in the last round, they were moving a lot smoother.
There you go. There's that mistake on the sandbag. You can see now they're having to adjust the sandbag. And look on both screens, the split screen. You can see the distance having to take. Athletes changing around.
So that AJ just moving around so that he calls the shots at the top of the bag.
FBDV look like they have that bag far more under control. You can see that communication tax in there. They've done 2. They've managed to catch up. I think they're a tie.
Just taking the lead now.
You can see it neck and neck. Both teams actually are facing each other, making sure. Then, okay, you've got 1 rep where your backs to each other. So it's a case of how are you going to attack this when you know you're losing out, but you've just got to try to stay 1 rep ahead. Both judges' hands are in the air, so it looks like they've each got 5. FBDV looking like they're just one rep ahead.
We're going to almost bring it down to half a rep ahead at the moment. But Tiger Valley slipping up again.
These glitches in the pickups.
3 reps remaining.
The glitches in this team is what's going to cost them. You can see there, that bag going out of shape. FBDV managing to keep it straight line. There you go, 2 reps. They've taken the lead. FBDV managed to just keep that worm in control.
1 final rep left.
There you have it.
And Mayhem Africa is across the line. They take the heat win and the event win. Tiger Valley just finishing off their final couple of reps. 1 rep remaining.
It's a little bit hard to call rep for rep when we're up here in the bird's nest, but just because, you know, we're watching pretty much exactly as you guys are, which makes it good for us. And to watch here, talk, commentate, and then try to see exactly what's going on the floor. It's excuse if we do make the odd mistake. But there you have it, your first 2 teams through, and now we have a bun fight. But again, this is a different workout. We've still got 6 workouts across the weekend, 5 remaining.
Here we go in lane number 1 and 2. That is the 111 Relentless team just finishing off their 3rd round. So they still have to finish a 4th round of the machines, that first part of the station. And right next to them, the CrossFit Juggernaut team. That's CrossFit Juggernaut Conquer. Only one athlete in this team, a previous semi-finals athlete. Also in a team. So 3 rookies to the game.
There you go, the Juggernaut team making it back to the start of their 4th round with 30 seconds on the clock. Now, as any athlete's going to tell you, they're still going to fight for it. No team is going to let 10 seconds go unused. So with 20 seconds, you've got to give it everything you've got left in the bag to see where you can climb up that leaderboard, because one place makes a massive difference towards the end of the weekend.
This is the 10-star hybrids, and Cape CrossFit coming back to try and maybe get in a couple of reps and catch up to the 10-star hybrids.
5 seconds.
Ooh, and it seems like the Cape CrossFit Wolfpack snuck in a 2nd rep to tie the score of the hybrids.
That is going to be interesting. You know, man, this weekend with the teams is going to be fascinating. I'm interested to see if the individuals are going to be as close, but we now know CrossFit FBDV have the biggest target on their back.
What an incredible little race there at the end, and that is where, if you've heard it before, every rep counts. Cape CrossFit Wolfpack rushing to the bag and hanging on for 2 reps, while the 10-star hybrids got there about 10-15 seconds ahead of them and only managed to match their score.
It's fascinating. I'm looking forward to having a couple of conversations with judges. With coaches and athletes across the weekend, just to see how do they look into the programming in order for semifinals or the year in general? Do they start early in the year, or is it a case of hey, we'll just see how the open goes, and if we do well, we'll go from there. So it's going to be fascinating to see what the coaches and athletes actually have to say about this. Thanks to our amazing team having to carry this. And remember, these athletes had to carry it 10 meters. These equipment crew are having to haul these bags across the whole day.
A massive effort from the team, but we're going to take a quick break and go down to the floor with Kent Klein. He is going to do a quick interview with your winning team from event number 1.
Congratulations, man, Team Africa. Incredible performance, consistent across the board. Alan, looked like a dreadful workout. Tell me a little bit about the stimulus that was triggered in that workout.
Yeah, so I think initially, obviously, the first round, everyone's pretty fresh, so you have the goal actually is to start more considered, so that you don't punch a hole too fast. But once you get to the 3rd round, 4th round, obviously the bag hold becomes a little bit of an issue because you can't breathe and you just come off a worm or a machine, so struggle a little bit to breathe. But yeah, good to get the first one out the way up there.
Now, pacing and communication, absolutely imperative. You guys communicated beautifully. The no reps were kept to an absolute minimum. Tell me about how you attacked it, because you guys didn't come out first in the beginning, but you finished strong.
So we approached the first round. I said it's like the 2nd round of a warm-up. So slow and steady, and then I think we're all very experienced, so watching everyone get off the machine first, we were like, it's okay, we got this. So it was good, yeah.
Incredibly professional performance, incredibly professional execution. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mayhem Africa.